Hey, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for stopping by. I am on the road to making my target number. So don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe. And let's get right into it. Love During Lockup, episode 29. Child, this is a hot mess. I swear to you, I feel like I start off this every review of this show with this is a hot mess. This is a hot potato mess. Rescue me from the castle, child. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. But we're going to start it off with the problem child. Once again, I feel like they like to start with the problem child, Ayonna, every episode. Because the last 3 episodes, they've been starting with this problem child. And child, she is nothing but that, a problem. We start up with Ayonna. She packing up her daughter to go to her mother's house. She's there with her grandmother. It's D-Day. It's D-Day. She getting knocked down, clank. In the slammer she goes to do her 14-day bid. Whatever. She's saying goodbye to her daughter. She says she feels like she disappointed her family. And I'm just like, girl, you disappointed me. And I don't even know you. You disappointed more than your family. You disappointed the world because people are looking at you and definitely judging the craziness. They're judging the fact that you put this man on a pedestal over everybody else, child. It is what it is. So you disappointed not only your mother, not only your daughter, not only your son, not only your grandmother, but you also disappointed us. Just FYI. It is what it is. Yeah, so she's like chaotic and frantic all over the place because she has to turn herself in by a certain time, and so she has to run to the store because she found out that she needed to pick up some items because she could bring her own items. She could bring like her own toiletries and stuff like that, all of her own stuff, and she's excited about that. But she's running to the store because she's running late, But she's running late, and I'm just like, again, I feel like I say the same thing. I give you the same advice every episode. Get your life together. Get your life together. Her mom says the same thing. Ironically, her mother says the same thing, once she goes and drops her off. But anyway, yeah. So she's running, to turn herself in. She has to turn herself in at 11 o'clock. And I think she was pushing it because it was like 10 something on that TV, child. I don't understand how she could say goodbye with such a straight face. She said goodbye to her daughter and people with a straight, her face was straight, like straight faced. I was just like, child, what? Okay, girl. Something wrong with her. Anyway, okay, we're gonna move on. Anyway, so she on the phone with Jamal, and she start going crazy and about to break down because, she's in the car driving to the prison and she sees the prison and she start having a nervous breakdown. Her mother almost had to pull over with her. And I was just like, girl, this girl she needs to get her life together. She needs to get her life together because I don't know what she's doing other than that. Her mom says she's tired of the bull. And she says that she be saying the same thing that I've been saying, child. She tired of the bullshit and she need to get herself together, child. Get it together, girl. Get it together. She says when she comes out of prison, she wants her life to reflect. She wants to reflect on her. No, the mother said that she wants to go in there, have her reflect on her life, and when she comes out a better person. And I'm just like, well, see. 14 days is not a long time for her to reflect. 14 days is not even enough for her to even sober up from anything if she had to sober up from anything. Not saying she's on something, but I'm just saying. 14 days is not a lot for her to reflect. She's had a lot. She does a lot. And that's not enough time for her to reflect on her actions in any shape or form, child. None. So we head to Shantae, and Shantae finally returns home, but she's in her house, in her living room, talking to her children about the situation with the mother and the sister. And I'm just like, why are they so open to their kids about what is happening with these jailbirds? I don't understand. Not saying that you're not supposed to tell your kids what's going on, but you don't have to be so detailed. I wish they stopped that. But I can't tell anybody how to run their own house. They're going to do what they want to do. Either way it goes. She says there's a lot of unanswered questions. But she's explaining all of these to her children. And I'm just like, girl, why? She explains that he told the mother something different and he told her another story. But she says she needs to ask him. And I'm just like, What is there to ask? You've already discovered that he told you one thing and he told his mother something else. What is there to ask? What's the conversation that needs to happen? Help me out. Help me understand. True calls. In true fashion. He calls. And he reassures her that she has nothing to worry about. But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He said he's ready to come home and do all the things that, free people enjoy, including SEX and the XES and the SEX shops. He wants to do a lot of that. Okay. He said it's going to be a little bit different from him being close to somebody when he gets out and sleeping in the same room with somebody when he gets out. And I'm just like, okay. I'm going to save my opinions to when we see it. I just feel like Shantae is being manipulated. She's being manipulated and she needs to open her old eyes. I'm going to say that. Shantae lets her know that True was there. She lets us know that True was there at her lowest point. Even her family wasn't there for her. She was assaulted by 2 co-workers who tricked her, and she had bouts of depression, and she was really scared after that, and he kind of like coaxed her through it, coaxed her out of it, positive reinforcement, let her know, like, all right, this is the kind of day you had, this is what's happening, how do we turn that negative into a positive? And she says, because of that, and because he was there for her at her lowest, she loves him, and basically nobody can tell her anything. She gonna do what she gonna do, child. She already lied to herself and covering up the excuses, child. The delusion is there. The delusion is there. Once you start lying to yourself and becoming delusional, therein lies your problem. So we head over to Teeny. She getting ready. She talking to Rob through the camera. And the kids is moving about the house and stuff like that. And I'm just like, we get to see his interaction with Rob and the kids for the first time through the cameras, and I'm a little, I don't really know how to describe my feelings about that interaction. I just feel like I didn't like it. There was something about that interaction with them that I just didn't like. And we could unpack it, but it's just something about that interaction that I didn't like. Her 13-year-old daughter says she feels like she's being watched 24/7, and it seems like she doesn't like it. And I wouldn't either if I was 13 and some stranger in jail is watching me through a camera and talking to me through a camera. Not saying he's a stranger because they knew him since she knew him since she was 7, but I don't like it. Also, am I the only one that had an issue with how he cursed at her? I just didn't like it. That's what I'm saying. And I think that's what gave me that eerie feeling, that kind of eerie feeling about how he addressed her. I just didn't like it. I had an issue with it. But it could be just me. Drop that in the comments and let me know if I'm reaching. Because it could, like I said, it could be just me. The son feels like it's a form, like him watching them through the cameras is a form of protection. But I don't feel that way. I don't feel like that's a form of protection. Because if that was a form of protection, he would have cameras all over the house. He would have cameras around the house, like outside the house, not inside the house. Or access to inside the house. Or he would just have access to one of the cameras, which is the camera in her bedroom. Not around the whole house. To me, it feels like a form of control. That is his way of controlling that house situation, even though he's not in that situation. But that's what I got out of it. And that's what people do. So Rob said that he's getting out of jail, that the jail is getting more strict, that there was something, an incident that happened, and the police officers in the jail, which is the correctionals in jail, they're cracking down on some stuff, and, he's going to have to get rid of his phone. And he's going to be, in the next few days, he's going to be getting rid of his phone. So he can't really call her too much. And then we find out something about like a class X, and a class X is that if you get caught with contraband or anything, they add more time. Something like a phone or whatever the case may be, is they'll make you do your whole 100% of your time instead of like whatever the time that you got off for good behavior and stuff like that. They'll retract that. And they'll add more time. So that's what a class X is in prison. I don't know these terminologies. I'm just saying. He is, he's like, oh, being that I'm not gonna be able to talk to you. You shouldn't be talking to other people. It's gonna, I don't want you to be tempted that I'm not gonna be talking to her all the time. And I'm just like, it's only 2 weeks. So I don't understand what the temptation would be in 2 weeks that she didn't have in 5 years. But like, again, control. That's what we're dealing with here. A form of control. And he proceeds to say in the confessionals that it's a lot of temptations in jail and women be in here drooling over him. And I'm just like, who? The transgender women in jail or the correctional officers in jail? Now, I have heard of correctional officers having relationships with inmates and stuff like that, because correctional officers, I hear about them getting arrested all the time because they smuggle stuff into the prison for them, blah, 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 this, that, and the third, X, Y, and Z, whatever the case may be is. But you've been in prison for a while. I don't know about all that. I don't think you be shooing them away like you said you be shooing them away. Talking about, oh, guys be talking about you be pushing them out of your cell and why you doing that, homegirl. Like, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So, I don't know. And I don't believe it. The daughter is nervous about when he comes home and how he's going to discipline them. And I would be a little bit too. And I would pay close attention to that situation if I was teeny. But, she going to be eggplantmatized and we don't know. So we get to Andrew and Candice. She's going in to register herself as a felon. Andrew wants to support her, but she says but I don't think he knows how to really support her. He's trying his best to connect to her, and she's really disconnected. I seen it from the last episode, but you see it more in this episode, the disconnection between Andrew and Candice, and I think it is intentionally done. And we learn that a little bit after this. So Candice feels like Andrew is being overbearing. Oh, I'm sorry. My window is open. Let me close it. Sorry, we was like, okay. So Candice feels like Andrew is being overbearing, but I think he's just concerned about making her at ease. Putting her at ease, settling her, and stuff like that. I think that's more so where it comes from than anything else. She explains that things are moving too fast, but she wants all the things that he's given her. She proceeds to tell him that she wants to handle things without as much of his help. I took that as she doesn't want to be around him. She does want his support though, but she doesn't want to physically be with him. But she does want his support, i.e. monetary support. She says it's not going how they want it to go, but I'm just like, you only been home for 2 days. So how could it not be going the way y'all want it to go? Like, you didn't even come out trying to work on anything. It's only been 2 days. How is it not going the way you want? Yeah. And then she said, we want it. And I'm just like, no, he's trying. You're the one that's not trying. But you can't tell him nothing. You can't tell her nothing. And you can't tell Andrew nothing. I haven't seen any major setbacks, so I feel like it's just you. She said it was better when she was in prison. Yeah, because you didn't have to see him face to face. You didn't have to touch him. You didn't have to be bothered with him. You could just talk to him on the phone, feed him the crap, get what you needed, and then move on. Get what you could get and then move on. i.e. Andrew paying for everything and then, stays away. She doesn't think they could live. She says she doesn't think she could live her life like this. And I'm just like, She's a user and a liar. And Andrew is too engrossed. And he's too going to see it. It is what it is. But I told y'all last season, once her friend said, you got to stick to the plan, not last season, but last review. Once her friend said, you got to stick to the plan, I already knew it was up from there. I already knew that they had plans to take Andrew for everything he had. I knew it. Let me know if you knew it. So Rick, we get to Rick. He's meeting up with the Uber driver today because he's going, today's his wedding day and he's going to get married. We found out that the facility that Sam is in is not like a maximum facility, so she can come and go as she pleases. So she's allowed to leave and come back, and then they get married. Of course, they can't do any like touching and stuff like that, but they can kiss to celebrate the marriage. So we get to Joey, and Joey's on his way to meet Michael's mom. So he sits down and have a conversation with who I think is Michael's mom and the dad. I'm assuming it was the dad because it was a man there. And they're at a loss of what to do and how to handle Michael, because it feels like, Michael's lifestyle is taking control of him, and they all feel like that's going to be a downfall, that they feel like once he gets out that he's going to kind of like get back to what his old life and what he's been doing. Again, nobody really knows that Michael might be in prison for another 6 years. Michael's the only one that knows. They hope that Michael will change when he get out, but they don't really believe that he will, and neither do I. I feel like Michael's doing the same thing that he's doing in prison, that he was doing outside of prison. I don't think anything has changed. But the crazy thing is, they keep showing pictures of Michael and his progression and all his prison mugshots, and I'm just like, dang, he look good. He's a nice looking guy, but he's just messed up. So I understand why Joey is, in his face. So we get back to Andrew and Candice, and here's where it all hits the fan. Candice doesn't feel comfortable, and she feels overwhelmed. Being in relationships makes her feel overwhelmed. And I'm just like, you didn't figure this out before. You didn't figure this out before you accepted everything. Not the gifts and stuff like that, but I'm as far as like the ring, like why you was on the phone talking to him. You didn't explain to him that being in a relationship makes you feel overwhelmed and you want to take it slow. Like none of that stuff, girl. What he spent? How much did he say? $18,000, $12,000, 12. However much he spent, it was way too much. To the point where his accountant even told her it was too much. And she got mad about it. But yet he again said she's worth going broke over. So I can't be mad. I can't be upset. His words, not mine. His words. I feel like she wants to run. And that's exactly what she does. But we'll get to that. She could pretend well because she's sitting in that car and she trying to look anxious and all that stuff like that. And I'm just like, girl, this don't even feel right. Like, this don't even feel right. It don't even look right. Child, I'm gonna put child. Okay. He asked her if she still loves him, and she like the way she shakes her head and the way her face looked. I was just like, you took too long to answer. Girl, you know you're not in love with him. Let it go. Let it go. She keeps telling him that it's too much for her, being in a committed relationship. And she keeps like making all of these different excuses. I think last week it was something else. This week is something else. She keeps making excuses about why this is it's overwhelming, but like why being in a relationship with him is too much for her. And I'm just like, girl, child. I feel like she's testing the waters and trying to see what sticks when it comes to her excuses of why she don't want to be in a relationship with him. But she also took the ring when they got out, and she said she would marry him, and she thought it was okay. And I'm just like, I'm weirded out by your behavior because you said yes, but yet turned around and boom, she's like, you know, you turn around and you like, okay, now I don't feel like it. After the fact that you feel like, okay, y'all spent the night together, he's still spending money on you, you still taking it, and you just feel like, oh, this is too much. 2 days. It feels like she's only been home for 2 days, and this is the outcome. You know, she says she can't be. She gets out the car because she wants to go smoke a cigarette, and she tells Andrew that she doesn't want to be with him right now. Now you see how she said right now. She didn't say that she didn't want to be with him, period. She just said, I don't want to be with you right now. And the way she said it calm as day as she's standing there smoking. Her face was so calm. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, no remorse, no nothing in her face at all. At all. And this is when we get to see the real Candice. This person that came out at this very moment is who Candice really is. She was hiding. That was her representative. All this year and a half that she'd been with him, talking to him on the phone, that was her representative. This is the real Candice and the calculated Candice, because you see her face is stone serious. She's fine. She's calm. That's her. That's the real Candice. Andrew keeps making all of these exceptions. He's going home in 6 days. So he's like, oh, if I go home early, you know, we could stay together and we could just talk, blah, blah, blah. He's making all of these excuses because he's not ready to let go, because she hooked him. She hooked him. She says she's getting triggered by him. And I'm just like, this is classic Uno reverse. She literally pulled the Uno reverse on him. This is classic. She is getting triggered by him, putting the guilt on him, making him feel all the guilt of her wrongdoings. Andrew doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it. He feels like she has trust issues and she has a wall up, and that's what's causing her to behave like this. And I'm just like, this girl has no emotion at all. You can't see the emotion in her eyes. You can't see the emotion on her face. She knows what she's doing, and she did this purposely. She did it purposely, and we find that out towards the end. He's asking all the correct questions because he knows what it is. But he doesn't want to face the truth. He really doesn't want to face the truth. And he knows. That's why all them questions that he was asking in confessionals, he knows. He knows. This was a prison thing only. Was this a money thing? Because that's exactly what it was. And you know what it was. But you are trying to lie to yourself. And I feel like you should just let it go. Just walk away. Cut your losses. Cancel that lease, return that truck, or sell it, or whatever you need to do with it. Cut your losses and move. Run. You've already spent like $18,000 on her. There's no need to spend any more of your pension money on her. You know what it is. That's why you're asking those questions. She said that it wasn't just a prison thing, that it wasn't a money thing, but we all know she's lying. We all know she's lying. This is calculated. This is calculated. He dropped her off at the wellness facility, you know, and she asks if he wants the ring back. He's like, well, what am I going to do with the car? What am I going to do with the apartment? She's trying to make it seem like she definitely needs the apartment, but he could take the car back. But I really don't think she wants him to take the car back. I think that's just another form of manipulation. But he lets her keep the ring, and I would have took that back too, child. In the confessionals, she says that she has a lot of love for him, but she doesn't know if she's in love with him. She thought she was, and I don't believe that either at all. They show Candice 1 hour later. If you see Candice hopping and skipping and jumping with this bright smile on her face, child, she looks so relieved that she ditched him. I was just like, this is the foolishness I'm talking about. This is the real Candice. This is what we're seeing. And I hope Andrew looks back at this and knows that he was bamboozled and hoodwinked and led astray. Whatever you want to say, she did. And she got over him. She's so happy on the phone talking to her friend, and her friend is like, dang, girl. She says she broke up with him, and her friend is like, oh no, like the friend is disappointed because the friend I think the friend is benefited off of it if they're not even in a relationship, and I feel like the friend wanted to milk him for more, and I feel like the friend is benefiting off relationship too, but it is what it is. The producers asked if it was ever a moment she was using Andrew for money, and she just smiles. You should see the smile on her face. I'm going to put the picture up to show the smile of deception and maliciousness on this girl's face. The freaking smile. I wanted to reach through that TV and yank her hair so hard because that smile was such a disgusting depiction of a disgusting individual. I was so angry when she smiled like that. Just nasty. Then she proceeds to say, I'm doing whatever I need to do to get what I want in life. Nasty B-I-T-C-H, child. A nasty B-I-T-C-H. So we finally see her true colors. But I had seen it from before. And she admits that she was taking advantage of Andrew. Talking about she's not scamming. He made it real easy. She didn't really scam him because he made it really easy. Child, this chick lasted 2 daggone days. 2 days. Disgusting. Anyway, y'all drop that in the comments and let me know what y'all thought about Candice and her disgusting self. So we shoot back to Rick. And Samantha has become a nag, child. They've been married for 6 weeks, and all she been doing was nagging. Child, they did a whole scene of her nagging the crap out of Rick, and Rick looked stressed out, child. He looked like he done aged 6 years and only been married for 6 weeks. I said he looked like he aged 6 years, child. He looked terrible. He does not look happy at all. She wants him to support her lifestyle, and he's just like, my finances can't, compete with that. He frustrated. He angry. That's all he could do. All they do is argue now. He angry. He frustrated, and she don't know what's happening. She think that he gonna support her lifestyle, and he's like, I really can't. I don't know what it is. I don't. Anyway, child. And then we also find out that he is still in touch with Sandy from the party. He's still in touch with Sandy from the party, who was trying to throw that puss at him, and he was gladly grabbing it up, and he probably like, dang, I regret marrying her. I wish I would have stuck with Sandy, child. I said, he is mad. Did y'all see his face, child? He is frustrated. He like, she got all of these bright ideas, but it doesn't seem like she wants to come out and work and do nothing and da-da-da-da. I was just like, ay. Child, he mad. You bought the cow, and now you got the milk too. It is what it is, child. You're going to have to work that out, sir. You fell for the okie doke. Now that's your problem. He can't get it annulled. I'm surprised that they only been married 6 weeks. I think they could get annulled at the 72 days or something like that. 60 days, 7. That's 2 months and a week and a half. Like 2 months and a week and a half, and 6 weeks is only a month and a half. He could get it annulled. Do the math because he could get it annulled. He could get that marriage annulled, and he probably will get it annulled if Sandy throw it on him good enough, child. I think she gonna throw it on his butt, and he gonna end up getting that marriage annulled because he is frustrated, child. Teeny is on the road finally. She get herself out the house and her kids out the house. I feel like she do way too much in front of her kids with Rob. The girl doesn't want to go. She can't go because she said she has tests, but I don't think she really wants to go. She's getting into that age where she's trying to find herself and find her own way, and and I don't think she's that little girl anymore. And then the son is with her, but I still feel like she do way too much with him in front of these kids. This is their last visit before he comes home. I think they're going to pick him up. So they were saying that this is the last time that they will be taking that ride, and they all happy, they all excited because they've been doing this for 5 years. 5 years every weekend is a long time. That's 52 weeks in a year. Like 52 weeks in a year. So 52 weekends in a year that you going times 5. I ain't got my other phone. I can't even do the math, child. 125 and 10. Child, that's way too many. That's like 130 something. Not 130. 1,030 something. 32 weekends. Child, that's too much. I can't even do the math off the top of my head, but I was close. That's a lot of weekends to be going to visit somebody who ain't your dad. Anyway. And that's a lot of weekends to be giving up as a 7-year-old. But anyway, they're gonna regret it. She gonna regret it later. Because them kids gonna resent her for it. Gave up their weekends for 5 years for this man. Whew, child. Whew. 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 So then she explains to us that Rob did sell the phone, and that she hasn't talked to him in a couple of weeks. He didn't have access to the cameras for that time because the fact that he was accessing the cameras through the phone that he sold, and being that he sold it, that he doesn't have access to the app. And then it kind of like goes off with them running to him because he's coming out. So that's why I said I think they were actually going to get him this weekend as opposed to just going to visit him. This episode wasn't too bad. I feel like Teeny is going to get the rude awakening of a lifetime. Because I don't think that, like I said in the last review, she's not submissive enough for him. And I think that they are going to bump heads. I don't think the girl, her daughter, is kind of like enjoying this situation anymore. Because she's getting to a space and an age where she's kind of like trying to figure herself out. And so I don't think she is really enjoying this situation. I feel like Rick is going to abandon Samantha. I feel like he needs to get the marriage annulled because I feel like he bit off more than he could chew and he didn't even realize it. But now he realized it, and Sandy want him, child. He probably want her too. He probably want her too. I don't think Andrew is gonna let Candice go so easily. I really don't think Andrew is gonna let Candice go so easily. I think he's still gonna hang on. I think he's still gonna be supporting her. I think he's still going to try to salvage this unsalvageable relationship because it's one-sided. It's it's an unrequited love but for Andrew, she's not reciprocating the feelings. She was just see it for what it was. She was using you. You got taken, but you can still salvage your finances because you still have a chunk of change that you don't have to allot to her, or go broke for her. You make good money, and you could kind of pretty much pick up the pieces if you just let her go. I don't think Joey and Michael's gonna last. I don't think they're gonna last. And we're gonna see how Ayonna gets through this situation because she's still, when she went in, she was still talking about, 2 weeks is a long time. I'm not gonna be able to communicate with him, and da 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 da. She was still talking about not being able to communicate with him. And it's only 2 weeks. 2 weeks is not a long time. It's not even 30 days. So for you to have that attitude for not something less than 30 days is kind of weird to me. Like, you can't not speak to somebody for 2 weeks and you going crazy like that. I don't know what we're going to do with our problem child. But I see y'all, that's my spew. That was my 2 cents that I needed to add for y'all. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop that in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about Ayonna, child. Is she a problem child for you too? I need to know. And I will see you guys on the next one.